boy, what a great day it has been today, and what a time it is to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. Along with the successful launch of the robotaxi in Austin, Texas, Neuralink by Tesla just came out with the most recent update, and great progress is being made on that end as well. And according to Elon, this is probably our best bet against a civilizational risk from AI, where we can actually operate and compete at the level of AI and compete against AI as humans or cybernetic beings. Now, Elon Musk describes this process as a very delicate process, and great care is being taken to make sure things get done properly. Let's hear straight from him.
Neuralinks all over the place. This is not going to be sudden. You'll be able to watch it happen, over the course of several years, and we go through exhaustive regulatory approvals. So this is not something that we're just doing, by ourselves without government oversight. We work closely with the regulators every step of the way. We're very cautious with the Neuralinks in humans. That's the reason we're not moving faster than we are, is because we're taking great care with each individual to make sure we never miss. And so far we haven't, and I hope that continues into the future. Every single one of our implants in humans is working, and working quite well.
So awesome.
And you'll get to hear from some of the people.
That's so awesome. So they're taking great care to make sure that things get done properly the first time around, and that there are no unintended mishaps with this implant. Now, here are the goals, according to Neuralink, for the Neuralink implant. Now, what the Neuralink implant is basically a small chip that gets implanted at the top of your brain with very fine and thin wires branching down into the brain. And this is all done automated via robots. So specially designed automated robots do the surgical process and makes sure that these very fine adjustments or very fine incisions are precisely made without any impact to any collateral areas of the brain. And the goals are as follows: to reduce human suffering, enhance human capabilities, understand and expand consciousness, and mitigate the risk of artificial intelligence. Again, with the rise of artificial intelligence, and as a matter of fact, artificial intelligence to some degree is already here. Humans, as we are, simply will not be able to compete with AI once it fully becomes sentient, or it becomes to a level where it is hundreds, thousands, if not millions of times faster than the human intelligence. And this is mostly due to a lack, as Elon puts it, a lack of operational bandwidth that is present in the human beings versus the AI or synthetic organisms, which have a bandwidth which could be millions of times greater. So the goal of this Neuralink implant, alongside of curing incurable ailments in the human being, is also to increase the level of bandwidth such that we are now able to either directly interface with AI or compete with AI so that we don't get taken over by AI. Now, let's go on to the graphic here, which shows the regions of the brain that the Neuralink implant will impact, right? First of all, we're going to start off with the motor and speech area of the brain right here, which is a high channel read area. This is where the telepathy comes in, so that it can get read instructions from a device or from another Neuralink device. So if two human beings are implanted with the Neuralink device, they can essentially talk to each other telepathically, where each Neuralink implant recipient would be able to telepathically read each other's thoughts, right? Also over here in the back of the brain, as you can see over here, is the visual cortex, the rear region of the brain. You can see right here highlighted, and that is a high channel right area. So this is the visual cortex, and this has everything to do with processing of vision or light-based information. So what this device is going to be called from Tesla Neuralink is called blind sight. And what this is going to be able to do is the Neuralink implant will be able to receive light information and will be able to process it with the wires extending into the rear of the brain in the visual cortex area or the occipital lobe of the brain right here. And it will be able to process that visual or light information. Then there are other regions of the brain called deep regions, reaching any brain region. So this has the ability or the capability or the potential to essentially cure any type of neurological ailment, from chronic pain to anxiety, depression, seizures, any area of the brain any cluster of neurons that are not organized or firing in a healthy manner or listed as pathological. The Neuralink device will be able to reach those areas and bypass those signals or shut those areas off completely. And this will completely revolutionize the way human beings live their lives and improve the quality of life for everyone substantially. Now, I also found this so cool where a Neuralink recipient is able to interface with mostly any computer device via USB, and this recipient in general is able to play a video game. Let's see what video game he plays.
Yeah, another really fun thing you could do with the Neuralink device outside of controlling a computer cursor is you could actually plug it in through USB through a lot of different devices. And here we actually have Nolan playing Mario Kart.
Mario Kart.
Now, what's special about this particular clip
so awesome
is Nolan is not the only cyborg playing Mario Kart in this clip. We actually have a whole community of users, as mentioned earlier.
Mario
and this
Karts.
is literally 5 of our first users of Neuralink playing Mario Kart
so
together over call. Yeah.
All with the power of their mind. Via the Neuralink device.
Now, yeah. Mario Kart is, it's cool. You know, you're using one joystick and then you're clicking like a couple of buttons to throw items. What would be even cooler is what if you could control 2 joysticks at once.
Watch this.
Simultaneously with your mind. What I'm about to show you, and I think this is for the first time someone playing a first-person shooter game with a brain-computer interface. This is Alex and RJ playing Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, baby.
Controlling one joystick to move and then the other joystick to, I think, point your gun, and then shooting people as a button. Here's Alex shooting another person.
I mean, playing Call of Duty just normally is a challenging feat to learn as it is. And then becoming good at that game takes so much fine coordination and so much, hand-to-eye coordination and visual processing that doing this via a Neuralink implant with just using your brain and the implant somehow translating that into the action seen here in the video game is just mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. It's actually beautiful it's so amazing to see. Never in my life did I even imagine. I mean, yes, I of course, I watch Star Trek and all those, sci-fi shows and movies, and it's all very commonplace in sci-fi, right? But to actually witness and bear witness to history in the making as sci-fi becomes reality is truly a God-given privilege, and we are all blessed to see it. I am so blessed to be able to experience this.
Right.
And I'm sure the patients are so blessed as well, as they are able to regain eventually full autonomy thanks to this device from Tesla.
Oh, dear God.
Oh, that was God.
I know I do, and I want him to freaking shoot you on when I do.
RJ, Alex got you.
I know, they shot me in the face.
Now that we have a bit of a sense.
Unbelievable. Now let's move on to this patient over here, also highlighted by Neuralink. And this patient is an ALS patient, but he is nonverbal, right? He is nonverbal. And as the engineer over here states, or will state, old-fashioned devices could not allow you to go outside into the light because you needed a dark place to work with, right? So let's hear him explain it as he explains it best, obviously.
As the ALS cyborg. And Brad also has ALS, and what separates him from our other users is he's actually nonverbal, so he can't speak. Why this is pretty relevant is he relies, at least before the Neuralink, on an eye gaze machine to communicate. And a lot of eye gaze machines you can't use outdoors. You really need like a dark room. So what this means is for the last 6 years since Brad's been diagnosed with ALS, he's really unable to leave his house. Now with the Neuralink device, we're going to show you a clip of him with his kids at the park, shot by Ashley Vance and the team.
Okay, you guys ready?
I mean, just imagine to be able to communicate as a nonverbal ALS patient, to be able to communicate or to attempt to communicate, you would have to essentially be in a dark room in your home, immobile, unable to go outside or do anything, right? Now, literally a 180 scenario where he is able to go outside into the light and still be able to communicate using the Neuralink device from Tesla.
No, I'm still sticking it.
I am absolutely doing more with Neuralink than I was doing with eye gaze.
That's him talking.
I have been a Batman for a long time, but I go outside now. Going outside has been a huge blessing for me. And I can control the computer with telepathy.
Dad's watching. Look, he's watching on the camera. Did we lose one of the arms?
The last user I want to talk about is
That's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, just imagine being unable to go outside and communicate at the same time. Now, finally, I mean, we can't take anything for granted, right? Just imagine how that person feels. Just imagine. I can't even imagine. I'm getting emotional for him. And I'm getting emotional just at the sheer fact of how quickly we are progressing. Sure, it took time to get here, right? But now that we're here, it feels like we're just jumping timelines, right? Like we're just advancing multiple timelines in such a short amount of time. It's like we're skipping a whole block of progress and we're just skipping levels, right? Now check this out. Now this I found to be the craziest thing, right? Of course, this device, Neuralink device from Tesla, will enhance life at levels that I can't even comprehend, right? People will be able to walk again. People will be able to use their limbs again. People will be able to regain their autonomy, their bodily autonomy. People will be able to see again. People who are blind will be able to see again. Now watch this.
Actually, let me maybe add a few things to that, which is as we advance the Neuralink devices, you should be able to actually have full body control and sensors from an Optimus robot. So you could basically inhabit an Optimus robot. It's not just the hand, the whole thing. So you could basically.
Bro, are we talking about Avatar? Is Avatar going to be a reality soon? Elon Musk just said that it's not just simply interfacing with limbs, robotic limbs or robotic prosthetics, right? Which is fantastic as it is for people who don't have the function of their limbs, right? Assuming that those people cannot be cured by the Neuralink implant bypassing that spinal area or the nerve area that is damaged and are now given a robotic prosthetic which can be controlled via the Neuralink, just as you would normally control your arm with your brain. This robotic prosthetic will enable those who are paralyzed in whichever limb to be able to control that limb just as they would normally control it had they had full function of their limb and their brain, had that connection not have been severed, right? Elon Musk is now saying that it's not just prosthetic limbs, it's entire cybernetic robots. So you can get the Neuralink, the Tesla Neuralink implant, and you will be able to directly interface with a cybernetic robot or with a robot, with an AI-driven robot. Just imagine that. This is Avatar. Avatar is Avatar is coming to reality, ladies and gentlemen. The future is now, and it's coming fast.
Mentally remote into an Optimus robot.
I mean, just imagine the possibilities that open up just from that thing, right? Now, here's where my imagination goes, right? Now, Elon Musk is always thinking about, going to Mars and all this stuff and interplanetary travel. Now, let's assume that, by the time all of this has been perfected, and Elon Musk is saying by 2028 to 2030, Neuralink should be operational, right? And should be able to attain by the public, from the public. So let's assume that by then we have still not figured out a means of propulsion where we can travel to different planets in a timely fashion, right? In a time frame where it's not hundreds of years, right? We could simply send robots up into space, and the people down below can directly interface via their Neuralink implants, and by that time it'll be, really perfected, and be able to control these robots anywhere in the galaxy, right? Or even just on a local level, right? Basic search and rescue, right? Let's a hypothetical, there is a building fire, and it is too unsafe for anyone to go in there, but there's still people trapped in the building. There's still dogs and cats and pets trapped in the building. There's women, men, and children trapped in the building. They're hanging out the windows. What do we do? Okay, no problem. Firefighters with Neuralink implants interface directly with your companion robots and go into that burning building, because a robot is everything proof. It's bulletproof, fireproof, everything proof. And save those people, save those animals, bring them back alive, or provide first aid as you are taking them out of the dangerous scenario. The possibilities are endless, Of course, this has the other potential too, which I don't want to talk about. It has a very negative potential as well when it comes to, weaponry and stuff like that. But I'm going to keep this positive because this is a positive thing. This is what I believe is going to take humanity as a whole and improve life for everyone as a whole, and not just selective clusters of people here and there.
And be kind of cool. The future's going to be weird. But pretty cool. And then now, obviously, another thing that can be done also is, like, for people that have, say, lost a limb, lost an arm or a leg or something like that, then we think in the future we'll be able to attach an Optimus arm or legs, and so you kind of like, I don't know if you remember that scene from Star Wars where Luke Skywalker gets his hand, chopped off with a lightsaber, and he gets kind of a robot hand. And I think that's the kind of thing that we'll be able to do in the future, working with Neuralink and Tesla. So that it goes far beyond just operating a robot hand, but replacing limbs and having kind of a whole body robot experience. And then I think another thing that will be possible, I think is very likely in the future, is to be able to bridge the where the damaged neurons are. So you can take the signal from the brain and transmit that signal past where the neurons are damaged or strained to the rest of the body. So you could reanimate the body. So
that's exactly what I was talking about. So the main healing motive here for Neuralink when it comes to neurological injuries such as spinal cord injuries, right, is the ability to bypass the damaged area of the nerve or the cord in this case to propagate the current, to continue the propagation of the current, right? So it's really a very simple concept in theory. Of course, it took this long to get here, right? It's about to be 2026. But it's a very simple concept. You basically the wire comes from the motor cortex, the Neuralink implant, the motor cortex, travels down, and the wire then continues over the damaged area of the spinal cord or nerve and implants into the healthy area to continue the propagation of the nerve impulse, which will create the movement of that limb, right? Now, here we go. Also, what you can do with Neuralink from Tesla, you can literally make a blind person see. So a person who was born blind will be able to see, or people who have any kind of nerve damage to the optic nerve, they will be able to see, assuming that the visual cortex or the visual area of the brain is undamaged. So assuming that there's no brain damage to the area that processes visual information, anyone will be able to see, even those with legal blindness, with legal blindness, those who are legally blind due to an optic nerve issue. No longer will they be legally blind. They will have full vision eventually. I mean, at first, Elon states that it's going to be a very low resolution visual. So the most benefit initially will be attained by those people who were born blind, because now, I mean, going from seeing absolutely nothing, absolute blackness, to even seeing a very low resolution image, such as those found in the Atari gaming system, as described by Elon, is literally like night and day for them. And then eventually, as the technology progresses and advances, the vision will become better than human vision, and you'll essentially have cybernetic vision, where you'll be able to see many different frequencies of light, including infrared, radar, etc., etc. So let's hear what he has to say about that. It's called Blindsight, ladies and gentlemen. Blindsight.
Hey everyone.
So exciting, right? It's like a party.
Hey everyone, my name is Joey.
Man.
Blindsight is our project to build a visual prosthesis to help the blind see again. Users would wear a pair of glasses with an embedded camera and receive an implant in their visual cortex. Scenes from the environment are recorded by the camera and processed into patterns of stimulation.
So what this is doing initially is it's actually for those who are born blind, right? It is bypassing the entire human visual apparatus completely, entirely. It's bypassing the eyes, because the eyes are essentially, useless and non-functional in those who are born blind for whatever reason. And it's also bypassing the optic nerve section of the visual system, right? So they are essentially without transplanting a new eyeball, a new working eyeball, or transplanting a cybernetic eye, right? Which is probably coming next, right? They are testing the system, it seems like, in the initial. Now this is just my opinion, right? I feel like they're just initially testing, because the ultimate implementation of this system would be a cybernetic eyeball, a cybernetic transplant of an eyeball, right? That already has a high definition camera in there to begin with. That, in my opinion, would be the ultimate implementation of this device. But initially, I feel this is a great way to test things out. And who knows? I mean, I'm just speculating here. I mean, it might not advance past this to a greater degree, but I believe it will. Obviously, I mean, everything advances, right? So they're completely replacing the entire visual system of the human being, the eye and the nerve. So the glasses here are the camera, and it is attached wirelessly to the cybernetic Neuralink implant. And the Neuralink implant is implanted in the visual cortex of the brain, also called the occipital lobe of the brain. And it will process whatever this camera sees, which is basically light, right? So it will process the light information, and the wires are attached within the visual cortex of the brain. And the brain will then interpret that light data being transmitted from the Neuralink device. It is incredible.
Stimulation delivered to the brain, causing visual perception and restoring functionality. Now, blind sight will be enabled by placing our implant into visual cortex. This is a new brain area for us, and this brings new opportunities and challenges. So the surface of the brain for visual cortex represents just a few degrees of angle in the center of the visual field. Larger fields of view are represented deep within the...
All right, so that's some technical data. Let me see if I can find out how the image would look like. Oh, here we go. This is the low resolution image, how it would initially appear as a low resolution image to the people who are, to the patients who are born blind, right?
Movements, and repeat this process for each of the channels on the array.
Check this out.
And here's what a simulated example of a blind sight vision could look like after calibration.
Just imagine seeing blackness, nothing but blackness your entire life. And then boom, you see that. You see that. You literally see that. That, I would love to see the reaction on the first patient, on the first blind patient that gets to see a low resolution image of any kind. I would love to see the reaction, and I actually hope they live stream it so that we can see it in the raw. Now, today has been such a great day. It has been such a great day. The time is a wonderful time to be alive. Tesla Robotaxi is on day 5, closing it out successfully. And let's leave you guys with this quote. Remember that time when we had to log into the internet, we had to dial in on a 56K modem. Check out this quote.
Thought. When I was a child, I used a 56 kilobit modem to access the internet. If you remember what it's like, you would go to a website.
You're lucky. You're lucky bastard.
Oh yeah, back in my day.
I was a child.
All right.
We had acoustic couplers.
Oh yeah, okay.
So just beep it.
Here come the back in my day stories.
Yeah, the first modem was the acoustic coupler. Incredible device, honestly.
Let him talk.
But then if you, I guess if you're my age, you started with 56 kbit modem. And you would go to a website and like there would be an image and it...
Actually, I remember, I think my first modem was a 24K or 24 baud modem. I don't even know what it was. I think it was a 24K modem or something like that. I think there was like a 24K or a 1440K, and I finally got an external 56K to dial into AOL, baby.
It would scroll like slowly. It was loading pixel by pixel on the screen. So that's what it's like to be bandwidth limited. Now imagine using the current internet with that same modem. It's inconceivable. It would be impossible to do. So what broadband internet did to the 56 kilobit modem is what this hardware is going to do to the brain. We are trying to drastically expand the amount of bandwidth that you have access to have a much richer experience and superhuman capabilities.
That's crazy. That's crazy, ladies and gentlemen. That's crazy. Bravo. Bravo, Tesla. Bravo, Neuralink. That is crazy. What broadband did to the 56K modem is what this Neuralink device will do to the bandwidth of the human brain. That is quite an insane idea to even try to comprehend. I actually cannot really comprehend how much quicker. Well, I mean, what would I do with all of that bandwidth, right? What would I do with all that bandwidth? It's just, I'm having a hard time thinking about it. And you know what? I have to confess, I was one of those people who thought that I would never get a brain implant. Never in my life would I trust a brain implant going into my brain, and who knows, what could be done with that implant, or can it be hacked, or this and that. But you know what? I believe that Tesla is on the right track, and so far I trust Tesla and the company and the direction enough to be able to actually consider maybe I just might get a brain implant, because I do want to increase my bandwidth, right? I mean, we're all aging, we're all getting older, and the older we get, the less bandwidth actually becomes available to us, right? In the best case scenario, the bandwidth becomes less at the best case scenario. At the worst case scenario, there is actual pathology in the brain, right? Which Neuralink should be able to handle also. So I would love to increase my bandwidth, and also I think it's pretty cool to be able to have superhuman vision where I could see multiple wavelengths of light. I think that would be cool. And oh yeah, by the way, how cool would it be to have my very own Tesla Optimus robot and be able to directly interface with him via the Neuralink device? Give me a break, guys. I'm getting it. I'm getting it, guys. I don't care, man. I'm getting it. Anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. I really did enjoy it. If you like what you saw, please give me a like, a subscribe, and share this video with as many people as you can, simply to bring awareness to what is going to be possible very soon out there in neurological advancement and cybernetic advancement, and at the medical level too, medical advancement as well. Also, if you're looking to buy a Tesla, I have a referral code for you. Please click on my referral code in the description below to get 3 free months of full self-driving or $400 off your very first Tesla solar order. Gentlemen and ladies, have a nice day.